Morning. Welcome, everybody. Well, this topic of flexibility and mobility, which are actually two different things, but they obviously affect one another. It was a meatier topic than I actually thought, and it's like I've got more papers here today and more information, but I'm going to try, of course, as usual, simplify it. A wise person I know, an entrepreneur, said if a 5-year-old can't understand it, make it simpler. Not that you're 5 years old, but I'd love you to feel like you're 5 years old. So flexibility really has to do with your muscles, the muscles being lengthened and stretched. There are two types of stretching. There's a static stretching, which is what we mostly do in class, and then there's a more dynamic stretching. So that's a more active form of yoga where you move a little quickly. The mobility factor has to do with joints. So flexibility has to do with your muscles, but if your muscles aren't stretched, your joints are going to feel it. They aren't going to be able to move. So they're part and parcel, but they are different. So joints are about the range of motion, okay? That's like the range of motion, but you're not, and also too, people who are super flexible, and some of you are, if you don't have the strength, you can harm yourself because you need the strength and the stability in order to take care of your joints. So interestingly, when it comes to the weight of different and the factors when it comes to stretching and flexibility, 2% of it's dependent on your skin, which made me think, okay, well, my skin's getting looser, so maybe it's easier to stretch. Got to look at the bright side. And then your ligaments and your tendons are 10% of what you're able to stretch, but really muscles are 41%. 41%. So that's, of course, what we work on here in yoga, is lengthening our muscles. And basically, our muscles get tight from overuse and underuse. So when we talk about balance, there's a balance to everything in life. And my yoga teacher used to talk about the middle way. It's not doing too much and it's not doing too little. In fact, when we stretch today, what I want you to think about is going just 10% beyond what your normal is. All right? So just 10%. Don't knock yourselves out. This is, and it's interesting too that, and I've heard people say this, oh, I can't do yoga, I'm inflexible. Ah, okay. Well, actually, flexibility is not a prerequisite for yoga. It's a result. It's a goal that we move towards. And some people are born hyper flexible, and some of us, and I'm one of those, I was a stiff bunny before I started this practice. So it's not competitive whatsoever. So we are going to start on our backs, and we're going to do a simple stretch on our backs. So come on down. And actually, before you come down, I want to show you the next thing we're going to do, because even if people at home, I want them to see this too. Because this is going to be the second one, and I know that you probably would come up and go, what's she doing? What's she doing? We're going to go like with our arms up and arms out to the side, legs like this, and I just want you to do this and that. That's going to be the second thing we're going to do. We're going to go back and forth, kind of like that, okay? But first, we're going to start on our backs, lying on the floor. Now, always practice with awareness, respect, and compassion for where you are. If you have shoulder injuries, just be gentle. But I want you to stretch your arms over behind your heads, point your fingers, point your toes. Then would you tilt your pelvic bone or your pelvis or your tailbone, whatever you want to call it, tilt it towards your mat so that you have a nice gentle curve in the lumbar area. And just reaching with your arms over your head, stretching, your toes are pointed, your legs are, everything's active. And even though you're stretching here, you're actually releasing a lot of muscular tension. So if you have a cat or a dog, you know they're stretching all the time. And release, release. Just let everything go flaccid and loose. And just breathe here. Keeping your arms over your head, your legs stretched out. We're going to do this 2 more times, holding about 10 seconds. Okay, let's go for it again. Stretching, stretching, stretching. Now this reminds me that, and I really want to make sure I mention this. I heard about, so you're stretching as I'm yapping here, pressing your tailbone or your pelvis, tilting it towards your mat so you've got a nice gentle curve in the lumbar, and relax. So I'm getting a little bit of cramping in my left calf. I don't know why. It doesn't, I'm noticing it, not judging it. But there's a new product, well, maybe it's not new, but it's new to me that I just heard about. Because our joints and our ligaments require collagen, there's a new product called, or new to me, multi-collagen. New Factors and New Roots both sell a decent product, and then reach again. So if you're having knee issues or any issues in your joints, and I think most of us know that collagen is something that's been trending in terms of health and things, but I am hearing from people, one woman's got a 94-year-old mother, she's taking this multi-collagen, New Factors, New Roots, so easily available at a health food store, and it's making a world of difference, releasing pain and just having more mobility, because calcium is a major component of joints as well as those ligaments and tendons. So one more reach stretch and let it go. Okay, and then just lie there for a moment. You can take your arms either out to the side, prepping for the next movement, or just bring them by your body and just take a moment to feel your body. Maybe rotate your ankles. All right, so with your arms out at the side, shoulder height, bring your knees up towards your chest, and you're just going to let them splay open. All right, and then as your left knee comes over towards the right, you're lifting your left arm and you're rolling onto your right or left hip and bringing right knee and right hand on top of the other bottom knee and bottom arm. Okay, identify your right arm and your right leg, or whatever your top arm and leg are. Lift the top arm, the left leg, and top leg. Lift up, roll onto your back, and roll over to the other side. And inhale, bring the top arm and knee up. You're rolling, your knees are wide apart, and you're rolling over onto your side, bringing hand and leg together. So you're right on your side, your knees are together, your arms are together. Knees are together, nice. Inhale, come on over onto your backs, and bring knees and arms together. So this is gently opening up the joints. Inhale, and exhale, back over to one side. Inhaling, back into the middle. Exhaling, this will be the last time. And coming back into the center, and now cross your right leg over your left. Have your arms out to the side, shoulder height, and lower both knees over to the left. Now, if this bothers your right shoulder, then move the arm where it's not harming. Basically, most of our stiffness happens in our hips, as well as tight hamstrings and shoulders. And when these areas are tight, they wreak havoc on the lower back in the case of the hamstrings and the hips. And when it comes to the shoulders, if they're tight, we end up collapsing through the front of our body. We don't breathe as deeply, and we feel low energy. We just don't have much energy because we're not breathing fully. Now, come back to the center, uncross your legs, and let's bring the other leg, so the left leg, on top of the right, as if you were wearing a tight skirt. You're crossing your legs, and slowly lower both knees over to the right. And you might notice a difference here between your right and left shoulders. You can either keep your head to the center, or you can turn it to one side, the opposite side. And the great thing about yoga is that whatever we're working, we can't ever just isolate one area, because it's like a play. There are supporting cast members that make a play happen, or in the case of that Tom Hanks movie where he was all alone on an island, there's obviously a cast of a production team. So in yoga, we have many other muscles, ligaments, and tendons getting involved with the main ones that we are focused on. And rolling back into the center. And then we're going to do a variation on pigeon, but we're going to start with our supine pigeon. So place your right ankle on top of your left knee. Right ankle on top of left knee. And then draw your left knee towards you and interlock your fingers behind your left knee. So your right arm goes between your legs and your left arm is on the outside, and you're in that supine pigeon position, pulling your knee towards you. So this gets into the hip area, the largest of the ball and socket joints, the shoulder being the other and only ball and socket joint. So they have the greatest range of mobility. And then I want you to identify your left leg, okay, the one you're holding on to, your left leg. Try and straighten that leg, and then reach up and try to take the calf. So this is where, if you had a strap or a scarf or belt, if you needed, but maybe not, maybe your arms will reach to the calf. So you're straightening your left leg and you're still pulling towards you. Be sure to breathe nice and deep, full and complete. If you hold your breath, it just creates more tension and stress in the body. Okay, bend that leg again. And once again, place your hands behind the back of the left knee. And just see how that right hip is feeling now. If you've let go of some of the tension, remember the hips are the junk drawers. We store a lot of baggage, emotional baggage in this area, stuff that happens, don't have time to deal with it. But you probably are noticing that hip feeling a little freer. Let's straighten that same leg once again, that left leg, reaching up towards the calf, if you can, or if you have a belt or something handy. And that will do. And lower that left leg down, uncross the right leg, and then let's bring the left ankle on top of the right knee. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. You're reaching through your legs and around the right leg, and you're just interlacing your fingers behind your right knee. So now we're stretching the opposite left hip. And again, most of us are not asymmetrical for a variety of reasons. One side may feel better than the other. Just be aware and notice it and love it. No judgment, no blame, pure awareness. Learning to be aware without judgment is what mindfulness is. And it's not easy, and sometimes we're so caught up in wanting things to be a certain way, we're not even aware of that. We absolutely aren't aware of so much. So once we develop a sense of awareness, a sense of the present moment, here and now, with no judgment, no shame, no blame. And let's try to straighten that right leg. And again, you may notice a difference, a little tighter on one side than the other. So you're reaching and you're grabbing the calf of the straight leg. Obviously, for some of us, a belt, a scarf, or a yoga strap is handy to keep by our sides when we're practicing. Breathing into your left hip. You can mentally ask it to relax, to let go of whatever it's holding on to that is no longer serving us. Good deep inhaling, deep exhaling. And then let that upper leg bend, and again, reaching through with your hands, interlacing behind your right knee. Again, you're probably, I hope, noticing some release of tension, of tightness, of stress. It can be physical, it can be emotional, it can be mental. So as I mentioned in my little note before this class, there have been thousands of studies done on how our emotional tension can affect our psychological and physical bodies. It's really helpful just to become aware. Once we become aware of perhaps the hurt that we're holding in our hearts, or the resentment in our minds, or listen, with all of the, as I said, the verbosity of negativity, now is a good time to take control of how you're going to spend your time, what you're going to listen to, what you're not going to listen to, repeated over and over and over. As one of my dearest and oldest yogi friends said, Joey, I just see it as theater. And honestly, that helped me a lot. If I'm happening to watch it, I just sort of think of it as theater and think, whoa, bad acting, good acting, just silly, laughing at it. It's like ridiculous. Okay, straighten that leg again and reach towards the calf. Again, breathing into that hip that's holding stuff. And releasing. Okay, come on over, or at least roll either onto your sides or with your hands behind the backs of your knees. Rock up and come on over onto all fours. Calcium, really important for our spines. Calcium and phosphorus are what keep our teeth strong, our bones strong. Calcium is key for the spine, as well as collagen. Okay, so with your hands underneath your hips, your middle finger pointing forward, your knees underneath your hips, lengthen your spine, cat and cow. Still one of the great ways of keeping your spine flexible and mobile. On an exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin, drop your tail, pull your bellies in. On an inhale, curl your toes under, hollow out your lower back. Draw your heart center forward, lengthening through your neck, eyes rolling up. Exhale, flatten the tops of your feet as you round your spine. Pull your belly towards your inner spine, drop your head and drop your tail. And inhale, lifting tail, hollow out lower back. Lengthen through your heart center and gently curve your neck and your head, eyes rolling up. Exhaling, round your spine, tuck your chin, pull your bellies in. Inhaling, curl your toes under, hollow out your lower back. Draw your heart center forward as your head goes up. And come into neutral. Let's thread the needle. Inhale, reach your left arm up, reaching up and stretching up. Exhale, thread your arm underneath the other, releasing your shoulder and the side of your face to the floor. If it feels comfortable, tippy-toe the fingers of the other hand straight out in front, flexing and mobilizing the upper spine as well as your shoulder joint. So it's hips, hamstrings, shoulders. These seem to be the areas that get the tightest. And basically the adage, use it or lose it, applies. And then draw the arm in front, back under the shoulder, press up, coming back onto all fours, reaching forward with your head. If you've shortened your position, spread it out so you've got length from your tailbone right through the crown of your head. And then inhale, sweep the right arm up, or the other one, whichever one you didn't use before. Exhale, thread it under, reaching through, twisting as much as you're able, releasing your shoulder, side of your head, and then perhaps tiptoeing the fingers out in front. And let's draw that arm back. And then we're going to take our modified child's pose and have a look. In child's pose, I'm going to ask if you're able, bringing your hands together into reverse namaste and bringing your arms over your head, kamsa. If that's not possible for you, or if you need to, you're folding your arms. But if you can, this is a wonderful shoulder stretch, including your tricep muscles. Obviously, you can feel the muscles in the back of your shoulder, your pectoral muscles. These are the front chest muscles. You've got a minor and a major. In fact, back in the day when we used to press our hands together in front and we'd say, we must increase our bust, I don't know. if anybody remembers that. But you would be stretching and you would be activating your pectoral muscles, which of course are your chest muscles, and they help to keep a nice firm chest. And releasing. Okay. Now we did Malasana last week, I think, garland pose, and I did suggest, so this is it. Your feet are turned out. It's a squat, the yogi squat. If you're able to keep your feet flat on the floor and your arms between you. If you're not, you could even use your blocks if you're, so you can roll up the back of your mat. You can place it under your heels or put your blocks under your heels. So this helps, and you're dropping your seat down. While we're in the yogi squat, it's interesting, our feet and our ankles, as we know, bear the brunt of a lot of weight. But now I didn't know this, when you're walking, it's 120% of your weight that your ankles are bearing and your feet. If you run, it's 5.5 times your body weight. That's how much stress we're putting on these joints. And, you know, obviously running's not for everybody. Walking is wonderful. Okay, that will do. And if you find this posture really difficult, now if you have knee pain, that's another story. But if you find this posture difficult and you want to work on, you know, creating more joint in your hips that get tight, your knees that get tight, and even your calves. When our calves are tight, they affect your Achilles tendon. They can create tendonitis in the Achilles tendon. I know somebody's having surgery for that now, some tennis player, I think, but most of us are not going to get surgery. Also, too, plantar fasciitis is a factor with tight calves. So to that end, what we're going to do is come down onto our knees, and we're going to move from, boy, I have a lot of stuff around here today. What's that? Oh, the temperature, yeah, okay. Could you turn it down just a bit, please? Thanks. You know where it is, right? Okay, so what we're going to do, hands under, in front of the shoulders, curl your toes under, lift your hips up, and we're going to start walking the dog first. So stretching one leg and bending the other, so one leg straight. You've got two calf muscles. The gastrocnemius is the bulgy muscle in your calf, and underneath that is the soleus muscle. They both attach to your Achilles tendon. So in the straight leg, you are now stretching those muscles big time, and it is important. And change. So once again, as I said, tearing the Achilles tendon or even having tendonitis in the Achilles tendon is very painful, debilitating. I mean, it'll stop you in your tracks. So stretching this tendon, stretching the calf muscles, I should say, stretches the tendon, and change again. So one leg is straight, one is bent. Try to relax your head, relax your neck. Changing again. And it helps avoid plantar fasciitis. So that's the connective tissue along the sole of the foot. Okay, so this is downward facing dog. We're going to transition into upward facing dog. What you're going to do now is even out your legs. You're going to come up onto the balls of your feet. You're going to roll over your feet onto the tops of your feet without letting your thighs hit the floor. Now, if you have shoulder or wrist issues, you're going to let your knees touch the floor, okay, and take some pressure off that. If not, you're pressing the tops of your feet into the floor, you're engaging your thigh muscles, and you're lifting your head. There you go, upward facing dog. Okay, curl the toes back under, come back into downward facing dog. This is wonderful for your feet, to enliven your feet. You can walk your dog while you're in downward dog. And once again, you draw your heart center forward, roll over onto the tops of your feet, so the tops of your feet are flat, your arms are straight, your heart center is lifted forward. And then release. And come back into a child's pose, releasing your torso onto your thighs. If your forehead doesn't touch the floor, you can stack your fists, or you can fold your forearms one on top of the other and make a pillow. And curl your toes under. Come on back onto your knees, curl your toes under, roll back onto the soles of your feet. Keep your knees soft. Let your upper body hang. Slowly roll up, one vertebra at a time, keeping your chin tucked in, your arms loose, and your head is the last thing to come up. Thank you, it was hot in here. Okay, take a sip of water if you need at any time. Spread your feet a little wider than your hips and turn your feet out. Take your arms behind your body, interlock your fingers. This is still one of the great stretches to open up the front of your body. So, fingers are interlaced. And inhale, bend your knees, soften, lift your hearts. Exhale, lead with your hearts towards the space between your thighs, lowering your torso, reaching your arms up, whatever amount you can. Relax your neck, let your head hang. Moving your arms wherever you can, and then release. Slowly roll up, one vertebra at a time. Keep your chin tucked into your chest, and then let's interlace the fingers the opposite way. You will feel it. I'm sure tech guy turned the heat right down, right? Okay, good. We have our checks and balances here. Okay, so let's do this again. You've interlaced your fingers the opposite way. You can tell, you can feel it. Inhale, bend your knees, keep them soft, lift your heart and your gaze skyward. And leading with your heart, slowly folding from your hips. We almost never bend from our waist in yoga. The bend is from the hips. We might think it's the waist, but it's the hips, tops of the legs, reaching the arms up and over, being careful. So clearly this is an aspect of mobility, joint mobility for the shoulders. Let your head just hang off your neck and release. And slowly roll up, one vertebra at a time. Let your head be the last thing to come up. And give your legs a good shake out. Let's come up to the fronts of our mats for sun salutations. It's a beautiful sunny day. Spring is it's here. Inhaling in place, exhale, hands in prayer. Step your feet apart, reach up, look up, extend as you arc back. Inhale, bring your feet back together, lift up out of your waist, Hinge from your hips, reaching forward as you fold. Let your head hang down. Step your left leg back, drop the knee to the mat. Bring your hand onto your front right thigh, curl your toes under of your back foot. Curl the toes under, and then on an inhale, focus your gaze, press through that back foot. That's your anchor. If you've got more weight into your front, you're not going to feel as stable. You can test that for yourself. If you press into that back foot, you will feel more stable, grounded. Arms are up, holding that invisible beach ball. Keep pressing through the heel of your back foot so you're rooted and grounded. Your back leg is mostly straight with that front knee bent. Turn your hands forward, activate those fingers, bring them to the mat. Take the other foot back, coming into your version of push-up or plank. It may be with your knees on the mat and your ankles crossed. If you're in your full plank position, draw your bellies in, shoulders back, reach through the crown of your head. Nice stretch once again for the sole of the feet. Your plantar fascia, connective tissue. As I've said, if you practice your plank posture, you will quickly develop greater upper body strength. Release your knees, flatten the tops of your feet, take your hips back towards your heels. So sun salutations is truly a perfect and complete exercise in that it stretches almost every muscle and it mobilizes many of the joints. There are no twists involved unless we add one in our dog. But it is fun to be creative with yoga when you're practicing on your own, adding different movements and not just the ones that flatter you. I know what it's like. I like to practice certain things that are easy and I don't want to practice the ones that are hard. Just be aware of that. Just notice. Leaving your hands where they are. Begin to come forward, keeping the upper body low and your hips and butt high. When you're able, release your chest and chin onto the mat. Slide everything out behind you. If your feet are off the mat, please scooch yourself forward on your mat. Release your forehead. Draw your fingertips back to align with your shoulders. Elbows in towards your side body, and then press your forearms down towards the mat. Tops of your feet are flat with your toes pointing backwards. Roll an invisible alley with your nose, pressing your hips and pelvis gently into your mat, lengthening your neck. On an inhale, let's lift without using our hands, our heads, neck, shoulders, chest, maybe part of your diaphragm. Eyes can be open or closed, rolling up towards your third eye, Ajna Chakra. Often we see a Buddha and you don't see their eyes, but you can tell they're rolling their eyes up towards their third eye. One more breath in. Exhale, lengthen as you lower. Curl your toes under. Lift your hips up. Walk your feet a few inches forward. And then bend your knees. Press your belly onto your thighs. Press your chest towards your knees. Align your ears with your inner arms. Pressing your sits bones towards the back of your mat. Now press your heels. Here we go. Stretching the calf muscles, the gastrocnemius, which is that bulging muscle. The soleus is smaller and underneath. Both of them attaching to your Achilles tendon. Lift your left leg up in the air. Look at your left hand, swing that foot as far forward as you can. Other leg forward. Let your upper body just hang, including your neck relaxed, your head hanging. Arms beside your ears. Engage your thighs by lifting up on your kneecaps. Pull your bellies in towards your spine to protect your lower back. Sweep the arms in front, feet apart for balance. Look up, reach up, arc back. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, forward fold, bend your knees, sweep the arms out to the side, reaching up. Exhale, hands in prayer. Give your legs a shake out, one more round. Inhale, starting at the front of your mats. Exhale, feet apart, reach up, look up, extend as you arc back. Inhale, bring your feet back together, lift up out of your waist, reach forward as you hinge. Please let the crown of your head hang down, relax your neck. Step your right leg back, drop your knee to the mat. Bring your hands onto the other knee. On an inhale, focus your gaze for balance. Press through that back foot. Sweep your arms up. Keep pressing the back heel towards the floor. Focus your gaze. A little bit of wobble means your stabilizing muscles are working along with your large skeletal muscles. Big cast working to hold us. Turn your hands forward, spread your fingers apart, bring them onto the mat. Take the other leg back, taking your version of plank. If you're trying the full version, but you feel like you've had enough, then drop your knees to the mat gently. Pull your bellies in, shoulders back, reaching through the crown of your head. Please don't poke your head up or let your head hang. Your neck is part of your spine. You're strengthening muscles using your own body weight and the force of gravity. Release your knees. Flatten the tops of your feet so your toes are pointing backwards. Slowly take your hips back towards your heels. Stretching through your shoulders, relaxing your wrists, your fingers, bringing your torso onto your thighs. Leave your hands where they are. Stay nice and low as you come forward. If you can, release your forearms onto the mat, staying really low as you move forward, releasing your chest and chin when you're able. Slide everything out behind you. Draw your fingertips back to align with your tops of your shoulders. Elbows in towards your side body, forearms pressing towards the floor. Release your forehead if it's not already on the mat. Flatten the tops of your feet so your toes are pointing backwards. Gently press your hips and pelvis into the mat. Slowly roll an invisible alley with your nose until you're looking straight down at your mat. And on an inhale, coming up into baby cobra. If you're coming up further, you may wish to widen your feet and roll your baby toe into the mat. You can stay here in baby cobra or press the floor away from you, not letting your shoulders come up or your elbows wing out. So you're going to probably keep a soft bend in your elbows. And again, if you thought you'd like to try the full, but it doesn't feel great, come on down. So you have a perfect little curve all the way along your spine. Eyes rolling up to third eye. One more breath in. Lengthen as you lower on an exhale. If you separated your feet, bring them back towards one another. Curl your toes under. Press your hips up. Walk your feet a few inches forward. Bend your knees. Press your belly onto your thighs. Chest towards your knees. Align your ears with your inner arms. Press your sits bones towards the back wall. Notice how this lengthens your spine, and then press your heels towards the floor. It doesn't matter if your heels touch the floor. Remember, we're working towards just 10% stretch. So if you press your heels too far, and it's more than 10%, you could be creating more stress and tension in your body. Lift your right leg up, look at your right hand, swing that foot as far forward as you can, other foot forward. Oh, and let your upper body hang. Give your head a swing so you know you're not holding your head. Arms beside your ears. Engage your thighs, pull your bellies in. Inhale, sweep the arms in front. Feet apart for balance. Look up, reach up, arc back. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, sweep the arms out to the side, reaching up. Hands in prayer. Exhale. Take a sip of water, flat out and relaxing just for a moment to allow the benefits of what you have done to be integrated. If you can, turn your palms up in the open and receiving position. Let your feet splay out. Let your body be soft and heavy. Separate the biting surfaces of the teeth. We hold a lot of tension in our jaws. We're typically not even aware of it. So just let your mouth relax. Allow your tongue to float in Shavasana as you make a little bit of time for all of what you have done. To be uploaded and integrated. Inhaling long, full, and deep. And deep, exhaling. Deep inhaling. And deep exhaling. And once again, draw your knees up towards your chest or roll over onto your side and bring yourself into a seated position. We're going to do a variation on Janu Shirshasana. I'll do the mirror image. Fold your left foot in towards your right thigh and take that leg out to the side. So we're getting into a little bit of a groin stretch here, couple of exercises. Turn your torso towards the straight leg. Now this may be enough for some of us just to sit here and be okay here with our sits bones pressing down, lifting up at the sternum. If you have discomfort in your knee, sometimes placing a little height under your knee if you need it. But can you sit up nice and straight? lifting up at the sternum. Turning towards the straight leg, inhale, sweep the arms up. Now, please think about stretching from the hips, not bending from the waist. Lifting up, stretching up. Exhale, forward fold. Does not matter how far you go. Doesn't matter if you go an inch or a foot. Makes no difference. It's what your body needs today without harming it. Remember, we're trying to just do 10% more than what our normal resting state is. One more breath in to reach. Exhale, lower your hands onto that straight leg or perhaps on either side of the leg. And then walk your hand back up the leg. Turn towards the bent knee, inhaling in place. Exhale. If you can, try to keep your sits bones on the mat and then walk your hands forward and just bending over that bent knee. Keeping your neck aligned with your spine, using your hands, press yourself back up. And let's change. Fold the other leg inside and straighten the other one out to the side. You can use your hands behind you to sit up nice and tall. So you're going to take your straight leg out to the side. Rather than in front of you, it's out to the side. Turning towards the straight leg, flex the foot. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale. Now, you may just want to stay here and not go any further, and that is fine. You're working lots of muscles here. Exhale, forward fold. One more breath in to reach and stretch. Exhale. Drop your hands either onto the leg or on either side. Try to keep your spine long as opposed to rounding it and dropping your head. And then walk your hands up your leg. Come into the center. Come on over towards the bent knee. Inhaling in place, lengthening. Exhale, folding over the bent knee. Leading with your hearts. Try to keep your sits bones as close as you can to the floor. And then using your hands, or if you don't use your hands, you'll use your core to come back up. And carefully unfold, bring your legs in front, shake out, bang out the backs of your knees. Baddha Konasana, or butterfly pose. Bring the soles of your feet together, take hold of your feet. Typically, women are a little more flexible in this area than men because we're the ones who have babies. So inhale, lifting your heart center. And again, this may be all you're going to do. If you can, fold forward an inch, half an inch, a few inches, whatever is available. You might be able to use your hands. And again, this is something we haven't practiced very much of, but obviously it helps us go inside when we reduce the distractions and all of what we're being pulled on the outside. Turning the palms up in the open and receiving position. Eyes are closed. Separate the biting surfaces of the teeth. Relax the jaw. Let your bodies be soft and heavy. Eyes are closed, eyeballs sinking into their sockets. Feel good about your efforts. It's pretty obvious, for me anyway, as I move around town to see the difference in the people who practice yoga and those who are moving slowly, heavily, often without good posture, sometimes with a cane. They have my compassion. I feel for people when they have any disability. But taking care of our most valuable asset, our primary mode of transportation, is just wise. It's like putting the best food possible into our bodies. It's fuel. I have a very simple expression for how I feel about diet, which is live food, live body, dead food. You can finish that one. Live food has a lot more energy, minerals and vitamins. In fact, there are 60 minerals in our body. 20 of them are essential. Calcium and iron are two of the most essential. We can get these foods from our diet. I wish I could learn to like sardines with bones. I haven't been able to, but sardines tops the list in both calcium and iron in terms of getting it from your foods. Tofu, kale are great for vegetarians. And we can take supplements, of course, but they are supplements. They're not meant to take the place of food. Most foods have natural cofactors. By the way, when we're eating foods that are green like spinach, that are full of iron, vitamin C is a cofactor. Just sprinkle lemon juice on anything you feel like. It is alkalizing and often a cofactor to help the major mineral or vitamin be absorbed by the body. But just when we're eating natural foods, they're made in a way that support our natural health. I like the KISS rule. Keep it simple, sweetheart, and you've probably covered all your bases. Inhaling the life force, long, full, and deep, exhaling. Long, full, deep inhaling, and let it all go. One more long, full, deep inhale, and letting it all go. Put that little Buddha smile on your lips, the outer corners just turning up just a little bit. Give that smile to yourself for making the time, making yourself a priority. And when you're ready, roll over onto your side. You might use your bottom arm as a pillow for a moment, bending your knees, just spending a moment in a semi-fetal position, maybe setting an intention for the day, or maybe just saying, I want to be more aware of what I'm allowing into my mind. Is it helpful or is it harmful? And then using your top arm to press yourself back up. If you wish, join me in chanting Om just once to close our practice. Inhaling together. Om Shanti Namaste. How do you feel? I feel good.